Hey YouTube, what's going on? Zero Magnum X. So Peter Gattani said, hey, I'd be interested in this video whenever I pitched the idea of maybe uploading it, maybe not. This is my, I guess it was like a shop championship kind of thing where you could win some regional tournament buys. I went 2-1-1. There were 17 players and I ended up, I think, 6th place. My buddy who I went with ended up getting top 4, which is cool. He was my tie actually in our games. No surprise since we were testing like the night before until I think something like 2 or 3 in the morning at his place. But it's Piccolo Surge. You guys should know what the leader does by now if you're tuning in. He is Mr. Discard, and that's mostly his point. And he draws you a bunch of cards to build you card advantage, while eventually taking your opponent's card advantage down. Alright, we'll get to the main deck because that's what people want to see. 4 newfound power Gohans. This card's just crit incredible, and it's in our color themes, so good card to open with. Gives you some aggressive pull while eliminating their resources in life. They either have to discard from the hand or they have to lose a life in crit, and that's all gravy for us. So we run 4 of him. I think I run 2, yeah, 2 of this guy, Janimba. If you have 3 plus energy and no battle cards in play, which this deck pretty often doesn't, he comes down and he's 20k crit, more so like doubling up on this guy. So, 2 of him. Our check lands, you have a blue, green, and energy play for free, so nice card. 4 Vegeta the Krolls. I went back and forth on this card a lot. I looked at a lot of lists and decided 4 was the appropriate number. It came up maybe once or twice, I think, in my games, but I'd often bottom him off of Piccolo's ability or he good energy. I'm not gonna lie, but it was a safe 4 of. If you feel like you would want less, that's fine. Also, Roshi, we run 3 of it. The foil isn't the flex, it just happens to be where the one Namekian Surge box I had bought back in the day had a foil non-foils, and I didn't really make major adjustments. They did have a Namekian Surge deck on the shelf there that I did like immediately pick up. So I picked that up to get some other, with some other stuff for some other card games. I don't want to rant on too much, but yeah, 3 of him. This was my ape because I noticed everybody was playing apes. Not a lot of people were playing Roshi, and I'm like, okay, I don't have the money for apes. And when I bought my Ultra Instinct Gokus, I had the choice of picking that up or picking up the ape, and I chose wrong. So spoiler, there are 2 Ultra Instinct Gokus in the sideboard. Woe is me, I guess. I should have picked better. Anyway, Sun Goku and Sun Gohan, Saints of Earth. I think we were on 4 of this. Yeah, this card was amazing all weekend. Just being able to stop a battle by putting something into energy and then making them discard. And then having this evolve target to go straight on top of it was sheer amazingness. If you're discarding a bunch of cards, they might opt to like ditch the negate because they're like, this is one attack versus like, you know, being able to out combo them. So it's a little bit of a mind game, and then you throw this down and it's like, oh nope, you had 3 life, you're dead because you decided to discard or warp your negates. So kind of a nice little surprise factor game 1 if they don't see it coming. Super combos, 3 Bionic Blitz and 1 Zamasu. This is a split I saw a lot of decks running. This stops certain problematic cards and is helpful. So it came up a couple of times. I kind of wish it would have been this, but in the times that they come up, it saved me from taking too much damage, so I can't complain. 2 Dark Temptation Toa. Simple, give our leader 5k and they discard a card, just more along the lines of that discard package. And we run 2 of her. Okay, so this card was MVP all weekend. I can't name how many games I won off of her. Just it being accessible in the life, being able to play it, and then just be like, alright, burn you for a damage, or your last life, and you're done. after getting them to 1 was wonderful. Or they had no cards in hand, they had 2 life, you burned them for 1, and then attack with her. Or they had like a couple of cards in life, and you had some cards that you could throw in like your super combos and make them bottom them. It just had so much utility. So we ran 2 of her. I'm so glad I did. Card was nuts. Secret Rare. It came up in like 1 or 2 matchups. It won my round against my round 1 opponent who wasn't prepared for it. I dealt them like 2 damage. It was a Piccolo mirror match, but they were doing like this weird, neat, aggro-y kind of deck using the Android 16 package. And then in game 2, they put in like Gogeta and the 8-drop Android 21, which both were played against me, but we still managed to win because off of the Gogeta, and I think he had that in his deck game 1, and I picked up on it, and I was like, alright, we're putting more negates into the deck, and that came up, and sure enough, he shuffled me into my 3 cards, into a negate, and then I won on the snapback, because I had UI Goku out. So yeah, fairly good card. Won me 1 or 2 games. So I don't know if it's necessary. If you have another secret rare you want to run, probably can. But this is, I pulled this out of some GameStop packs alone, like when set 8 dropped. It was the first set of set 8 packs I think I bought. And I thought at first it was like the, I was after Android 21 stuff. I thought it was the 8-drop Android 21. And I went, wait a second, because like I just saw the shine and it was dark. And I looked closer, I was like, wait, no, that's the secret rare. Because I saw like the 8 cost energy and all that, so it was a cool moment. If anybody cares. I was like, well, if there was ever a sign that I should be playing blue, green, and super, that would be it. Alright, next up are the extra cards. I liked every extra card in this deck besides 1. So for Sacrifice, this card was amazing. My 2 guys I went with to the tournament said it should have been, what is it, the Electric Death Ball Technique or whatever it is. The one that pops a 2 cost or less was Sparking 5. This was free, and there were so many times I didn't have Sparking active that had it been that negate, I probably would have died on the spot. This I liked a lot more. Maybe there is an argument to side Shock and Death Ball Technique. That's what it is. Maybe there's an argument to side those. But I would definitely main these. It's a free negate, and it gets us down to our 3 life, so we can start warping cards. 3-dimension magic. This is strictly because of rune purposes. I would run 4, but 3 is because of rune purposes in the deck. Whenever we get our card increase, maybe like bump 4 and then add a couple more negates to this deck and go from there. But that is literally the reason why. 4-cell Earth Destroying Kamehameha. Card was fantastic. It's as good as you'd think it is, and even beyond. 3 Special Beam Cannon. I was running 4. It clogged. We went to 3 and 3 Roshi. I was at 2 Roshi and 4 Special Beam, and the 3-3 split was perfect all weekend. This is the only card I didn't like. I often bottomed it. I think it came up once. And maybe it was a metagame I was in, but it didn't really do too much. A lot of lists online said that they were running 3 or 4, and everyone's like, you need to run this card, it's great. I'm like, I trust you, so I'm going to try it. It was often energy or bottomed, and the 2 split worked out. I don't know if there was, I think there was 1 game that I put 4 in, and it did nothing, just because I thought it would. And then 2 Sensu Beans. This was also kind of weird. I put it in case I faced Universe 11 and they wanted to go wide and attack a bunch. I didn't face it. I don't think there was a Jiren deck at the table. It was Boo, Frieza decks. Like, I don't mean the leader. I mean like main deck Frieza, like the 5-drop and Cooler. A lot of Piccolo Surge and Invoker deck. I think the Invoker deck eventually won, and like Surge Q. So it was a very different meta. It was kind of actually the meta I had expected it to be. which is odd and saying in my preparations. If I would have done it the way I wanted to, I probably would have had an increased chance. But I had 0 practice versus the Tricolor Surge Q deck, and that is what my loss was. I played around Frost Deadly Poison because I had 21 in life in the one game, because the one game I won, the one game he barely won. I should have warped 1 card in his hand when going in for attacks, because it was he got it off of life. It was a Great Ape Bardock. He tapped down my guys, and then like I swung, he tapped down my other guy that was going to attack. Used his leader to gain another 10k to out combo, and just had like 35k defensively, and I couldn't do anything. And on the next turn he won because I think I was at 2 life and was really using my resources to try and win in that turn. So it kind of sucked, but nothing I can do about it. Hindsight's 2020. I learned to play around cards like that instead of maybe Frost Deadly Poison, because 21 from the life is what was going to win the game, and that was, to me, more important to get that effect off. And maybe I should have just like looked at the count of drop zone or drop area and energy to check for those Frost Deadly Poisons, and I didn't. Alright, so that's the main deck. Here's the side deck. It could use work. For anybody who's still with me, thank you. If you click off here, that's equally fine. But this is the side deck I ended up on. It was like earlier on in the month, like early March. So at I should mention it was at 4 Horse Comics in West Virginia. They were in a mall. I think we were supposed to have 5 rounds, but we went to like 4 because of the mall closing. Either way, this never came up. I think it had potential in certain situations, but those situations did not. It was like overkill. So I don't know. I just saw a lot of people running this card. It's like cool, and the decks it was ran against, I don't think I faced any of them. So it is what it is. Leader abilities are super great right now, and he doesn't stop leader abilities. To UI Goku, as I said, this came up in the Surge Q matchup and was relevant. Wafuba, in case I faced Boo, I didn't face Boo. Hidden Potential, I think, was supposed to be for the same reason, in case I faced Boo. I didn't face Boo. I could have, but there was one Boo player there, and I didn't. We just didn't match up against one another. 2 Senzu Bean for the 4. Again, in case I face anything going wide, to just stack on Senzu Beans. 1 for the greater good. It's just the green from discard pile negate. Shh. Dimension Magic number 4. I pulled the foil. Again, this isn't a flex. This is actually so I could remind myself of which one I needed to side out. Like, if that's a good thing to do, if you have like an alternate art or a foil of a card, like, oh, this is the one I should side out. Like, I have non-foil Roshis. If I'd bump it to 4 Roshis or 1 in the side, I'd probably use the foil one for memory purposes, because you don't want to. Although we didn't use deck checking because the system was down, but everything was apparently reported though. So, but it is good to always be prepared for that. Spirit Sword, another negate. Don't know what else to say. You know, you just don't want to take a lot of damage with this deck once you're at 3, and you just kind of sit there and don't need to take unnecessary like double and triple strikes. This card never came up. He's Cole. I think he was supposed to come in for the mirror match. I played against, like I said, that Piccolo Surge deck that was like aggro, and this I had, but I didn't expect it to be that type of Piccolo Surge deck whenever he sideboarded it. So yeah, I brought it in and it was useless. I think I even saw it and bottomed it, or was in energy or something. Anyway, this was the deck profile. Sorry I was a little long-winded. I haven't made videos in a while. So with the coronavirus going on, my headspace isn't exactly where it normally is. But anyway, I hope you liked it. I hope it gives you some ideas if for your locals or anything like that. I do have like a Brawly deck profile that the other half is going to be using, and maybe like a Jiren deck if I can ever get everything going, and some other ideas. But anyway, take care, YouTube. Have a good one. Later, everybody.